Hello, everyone. Welcome to your Q&A, your first Q&A of the international break with myself and Sam Bon. Hang on a
It's
minute.
not.
You're not Sam Bonfield. Hi, Gianni. How you doing?
Hi, mate. I'm good. I'm good. I just saw myself on screen for the first time and went, "Oh my god, my hair! I've just stepped out the shower." Hi, everyone. It's Gianni here, live from Miami. I'm about to fly home. I've got a bit of a cold, but I haven't really been massively engaged, like many of you guys, in FPL in the last few days. But now is the time I'm starting to go, I'm starting to think about FPL. I'm starting to think about transfers. Starting to think about captaincy because obviously we've got the final week of the 2 weeks, which is the one that matters.
Already getting quite a few comments about your hair. Gianni, hi to Rodrev. Hi to S-Bam, who just says Gianni's hair and a load of question marks. Mohammed says cute hair, Gianni. Very nice. So if you're watching this on the listening to this on the podcast, you miss out on gems like this.
Yeah, you'll never see
Have you
this look
straightened the
again.
fringe? Is that?
No, I've just stepped out the shower.
That's just how it naturally goes. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Tom O'Connell, new look, very nice. Well, Gianni's hair, so many comments. I mean, any questions you
God.
have about Gianni's hair, get them in because that's what these.
It's
these
a bit One
international-
Direction, isn't it? It's a little bit One Direction.
It is a bit.
Kind of, 10 or 8 years ago, whenever it was.
Yeah, Ignatius, Gianni K-pop era. Look at that. J77 Lag, letting your hair down in mummy. I mean, the comments just keep flying in. So good to see you all. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. How are you finding the international break? You
Yeah, like,
said you're starting to get back into it?
Yeah, I started yesterday thinking about my transfers. I make a conscious effort of switching off for a few days. Those days have been and gone now. And yeah, I'm back to thinking FPL. And as always, like everyone, I looked at Son go down last night and go, "Oh, is Son going to be injured?" And then you see him and he's fine. And Matoma pulls out. Well, Matoma pulled out last time and was fine. But I'm thinking about all those big question marks around fitness. And I sometimes think we worry too much. Like you hear content creators like myself included at times going, "Oh, the best time to wildcard is the international break," or "Keep your transfers because the international break's coming up and you'll need them." In reality, look back at the last few international breaks. There's very few. There's regular weeks with far more injuries in international break windows. It's just luck, isn't it?
And the thing is, the price rises tend to settle down. We've had a couple already. We've had one for Palmer and a couple of others. But Simicast going up after being one of the most sold players. Where have you been on the Simicast train? Have you had him for both weeks?
Yeah, because I wildcarded in 10 when everyone bought him in, so that worked out well. But whilst I tweeted ahead of the last deadline saying there's no way I'm selling him, like he's a great hold for some good fixtures coming up, I did bench him. I did because I thought Brentford would score and I thought Lascelles had a better chance of a clean sheet. So I went really boring for the lower ceiling pick and I was massively punished.
It's unlike you.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was 50-50 on whether he'd start or not because he did have a nightmare in the Champions League and he was hooked at half time. But then we didn't know Gomez was injured, did we? So maybe Simicast would have been benched, but 15 points, man. That was big on my bench.
Should have bench boosted me.
Oh, yeah, that was the win of your bench boost, the Simicast punt. I forgot that, mate.
God,
Is this your first stream since that incident?
I did one with Yelena on Sunday
Right.
where we kind of briefly talked about it. I'm going to hopefully do a team selection with Mark yesterday where we'll go into a bit more detail on it. I mean, there's not a huge amount of detail to go into. I just didn't realise it was on and it went and I got a load of stick for it. And now the stick has changed to basically it started off as stick and then it changed to sympathy. And now there seems to be a lot of conspiracy theories that I did it deliberately, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Because I mean, why I would get rid of a chip, with Turner and Kabore for engagement is a bit of a stretch.
This is the guy that doesn't care about engagement because I remember the first episode of Black Box this season, you and Mark both said, "I'm going to make a conscious effort pre-season to stay off Twitter when I'm building my Gameweek 1 team." Now, everyone knows if you're a content creator and you want to build a Twitter following, those few weeks before the season, you do clickbait after clickbait after clickbait tweet. And you weren't even online.
I know. I mean, I could be accused of a lot of things, but deliberately tanking a season. I do badly enough making my actual decisions rather than needing to to rely on a bit of deceptive underhand work. But yeah, as I said, I'll be on Black Box tomorrow. I'll be talking a bit more about it. Be after the FCAs as well. So I think we're with a shot of that. So hopefully we'll have some good news. But obviously a lot of competition. That too. Anyway, let's talk.
Mate, can I just say one thing about your bench boost? I don't want to dwell on it, but firstly I saw it probably quite late and saw the sympathy post, and I thought that was I thought it must have been, I'd have been devastated. But at the same time, there will be areas you can use it to your advantage. But you know that, like when you have your second wild card and everyone else is having to pick 15 players, you'll be able to go with some dead spots, for example, and maybe get more in your 11. So there might be a point in this season. There might just be that point where you go, oh, it's actually works to my advantage slightly that it's been and gone.
Yeah, I think if it had been a 5-pointer, it would have been.
Yeah.
You'd always be thinking, because I think the bench boost is probably worth between 15 and 20, even if you use it in a double game week. So, maximum you're going to get is maybe like 30. And then, when you're not doing well, like I'm not, you kind of hope that that's going to happen. You're going to hit the big time. But if you'd offered me, I think I got 17 points on it with Simicast. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. Oh, yeah. 18. I've got 18 because of Archer and Kabore. That's fine. I'm all right with that. And it kind of made up for my poor captain choice. Everyone got the Salah and Harland points. I went for Watkins.
You went Watkins.
It kind of negated that.
You see that header he missed?
Oh, I've seen the header he missed. Yeah, and the penalty that probably should have been given. And on any other day, I think he would easily have matched the two. But he's just not. You can't really trust Watkins, can you? That's the problem.
13 from 14 big chances this season he's missed. So I think that's the stat. 13 from 14. That is quite something for a number 9.
Yeah, Jamie Hayes went Watkins as well. Yeah, massive L. Mohammed Az, what's your rank aim by the end of the year, given your season start wasn't the best?
Good question.
Top 100k.
Yeah, I think
always
it still
top
can
100k. Yeah, always top 100k.
I had 1 week this season, mate, and I was 1.4 million, I think, and I went down to 185k in 1 week with that chip. Like, you can have those worldy weeks. You have won a season, and I've had mine. Like, your one worldy week in a season, your rank could very easily go from 2.4 to 600-700k with one worldy week.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, for example, just looking at the Mods and Cons League, he's 128k, he's on 765. I'm on 690. So I'm like 85 points behind Joe, but we're not even a third of the way through the season yet. I feel like I can chip away, and if I can chip away and get through the busy Christmas period and be kind of in and around the top million, hopefully I can push on. But it's easy to say, isn't it? It's easy to say I've got ranked targets and all that, but when you have 1 week where you go up and then 1 week where you go down, like you say, I just need that 1 week, and it could have been this week. If I'd gone for Salah or Harland, I think I'd be in the top 2 million. Not the best, but. Yeah, it's slow and steady.
The problem is when you're at your rank, and I've been there, Mark was there last year, you can change the way you play. Sometimes that's for better, sometimes it's for worse.
Well, that's what I did with Watkins.
Yeah, you're chasing.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm trying to make calculated chasing things, because I think, the ranks are very, tight at the moment. And I looked at Salah, like you said, I thought they'd concede. I thought Brentford would put up a bit more of a fight. I looked at Harland against Chelsea. I didn't think either of those were particularly great weeks for those two teams, and I backed Watkins with a bit of fixture, but it wasn't the week to do it, and you can get punished by it. But I still think it was, like you said, if he scores that header, there's barely anything in it, and then it's okay. So Cameron Starr, I'm struggling at 3 million. Is Solanke captain this week? Mental captains this week though, quite interesting. Who's yours on at the moment?
Yeah, I think I've probably got mine fairly boring. I'm just looking now because I did set my bus team up. Oh, I'm locked out of the FPL. I'm gonna have to look at my phone.
With Salah and Harland playing each other, it opens the door for someone else potentially.
Yeah, I think I'm on Harland.
Yeah,
seeing the Chelsea game, because I thought that, like you, I didn't even consider Harland last week. I just went low ceiling fixture.
I had it on Harland till 5 minutes before the deadline. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, did you? I was between Salah and Watkins all week. I never even thought about Harland.
I never considered Salah because.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm probably likely to go Harland again off the back of seeing them against Chelsea, because Liverpool defence can be vulnerable. It's better than perhaps we give it credit for, but Harland's having fun at the minute, isn't he? He's having loads of fun.
Scoring with his bum, getting weird penalties.
Scoring with more than his bum. Did you see his comment? He said, "I've never scored with my balls before."
Love that.
Actually said that. He's quoted saying that, so I'm okay reporting that.
Well, it's like, I think Ronaldo scored one with his groin once, didn't he? It's like some players just manage to score from everything. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about Solanke captain? I can't say I'm a huge fan. It was a great performance from Bournemouth against Newcastle, and it is Sheffield United, but
yeah, they did dominate. They were good, but Sheffield United went and just got a draw against. Like, they've picked up some points the point against Brighton was very good. So personally, I have trust issues with Bournemouth. I would have trust issues with Bournemouth to the point where I'm not even sure I'd want to buy a Solanke, let alone captain him. But I may be in the market to buy Solanke. I wouldn't rule that out, but not captaincy for me.
Yeah. I've had a super chat. FPL Borat, thank you very much. I think he just does it so he gets to hear me say wawa weewa. We'll say anyway, wawa weewa. On which to own, ranking order, Jackson, Palmer, Sterling, and Nkunku. Take money out of the equation and imagine they're all fully fit.
I mean, when Nkunku is back in the 11, and bearing in mind he's been out for a while, he's not going to be starting games straight away. He'll be eased in. But let's go 3 weeks' time where he's up to speed. Jackson's the one that's most vulnerable of being benched. Palmer, Sterling, and Nkunku, I think, are going to be in the 11 every week, alongside Gallagher in that front four. Jackson's vulnerable for his spot.
So what would your rank be then? Jackson bottom?
Jackson bottom. I'd go Palmer and Sterling 1 and 2, just because Nkunku is unknown in the 9 in this Chelsea team, although he did have a good pre-season. But Palmer on pens at his value. And Sterling, I've never really been a massive Sterling fan, but I don't think I've seen Sterling play this well for a very long time, like going back to his early City days. So Palmer, then Sterling for me, then Nkunku.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Jackson's obviously is the odd one out. Nkunku's a bit of an unknown. We don't know what he's going to bring to the side. Yeah. Palmer is a 7.5, 8 million player in a 5 million clothing. On penalties, he might get moved into the 10, but he's still going to create. He's still going to have opportunities. Yeah. He's not like Douglas Luiz. His non-point XGI is still really high. So I just think he's a great pick. Sterling, we know, can deliver in the Prem. He's been a bit frustrating at times, but we know he's a seasoned kind of asset. And then
flat track bully.
Yeah,
Sterling will go and get points when you expect him to against weak opposition. And is it from Gameweek 15-16? The Chelsea runs obscene, isn't it?
Game. Yeah. So I think Palmer, Sterling, and Nkunku, Jackson for me. But I'd be interested to see what Nkunku brings to the side, because, well, you say they need goals, but they scored 8 in the last 2. I think that the Spurs game was a blip. I don't know what happened in that Chelsea-Man City match. That was an absolutely crazy game of football.
Yeah, I was gutted to miss it. I think that's I watched in the States.
You didn't see it. Ouch.
No, I was at a spinning class.
Okay.
But in the States, they have the NBC of the rights, and unlike Sky Sports in England, they just upload like 2-3 minute highlight packages onto YouTube. On NBC, they do 12-minute packages, and for most games, and for this game, they did an 18. So I got an 18-minute highlights, which was quite nice because I feel like I still got a good flavour of the game. But Palmer does look amazing, doesn't he? Like I've been saying this for every Chelsea fan knows for the last month he's been our best player. But I'm like, oh yeah, like we've got a real talent here, and I can't believe the price he is. Like next season, you're right, he's going to be 8 million.
It is funny with the pens though, isn't it? Because if he hadn't scored 4 penalties, he'd have 1 assist. So far
and
this
missed
season.
3 or 4 big chances, because at the moment his big chances is something like 4 from 7. So he's missed all the big chances in open play. So his finishing isn't great in open play, but he is looking so exciting, and his assist threat's huge.
Yeah. The only concern with him is that the penalties dry up. But like you say, the fixtures turn in 15. You've got to think Chelsea are going to start scoring goals, and he's going to be your 5 million. Even if you buy him at 15, he's 5.5. And even if he's 6 million, he's still going to be a great pick. So I wouldn't worry about his price going up. I just think at any point you'll still be able to get him, and it'll still be worth it. Janega says play Palmer or Archer this week. That's a classic fixtures versus form.
I'd always go for the player in the better team, like 9 times out of 10, and there's a lot between those two teams. I know Archer has had a couple of glimpses, but it's Palmer for me. The pen appeal is there too. I actually don't know who's on pens for Sheffield United.
It's not Archer.
Is it? Oh, it's the same guy. Oh, who is it? Yeah, it's not Archer.
Is it McBurney?
It used to be Norwood. Was it Norwood back in the day when they were in the Premier League last time?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I think he took it. He took it against Wolves.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Norwood. But yeah, Palmer for me.
Yeah, I'd play Palmer as well. But yeah, I mean, I had to play Archer this week because of the bench boost. He had 2 quite good opportunities to get attacking returns. He had an assist, which was very close. And if Webster hadn't just stuck the ball in his own goal, he would have scored. So yeah, a Why are you talking about Donald Trump in the chat?
Someone said I've got Donald Trump hair, and I said there's no Trump here.
Donald Trump hair.
I've just got out the shower, everyone. This is not the Gianni Buttigieg new look. I can promise you that.
Also, it's not a wig, which is
Yeah,
good.
true.
I saw a good question which I've now lost. Oh yeah, Bowen captaincy. What do you make of that? Mike Parsons.
I mean, yeah, I must admit, Game Week 10 wildcard, there was a lot of chat around Bowen, and very few went there. Some did, fair play. I again, like when I talk about teams I don't fully trust, West Ham are one of those teams. Burnley away is a good fixture. I don't hate that for a differential punt. Like when West Ham score, it's a bit like Liverpool, like the talisman theory there, like with Salah. You know Bowen's going to be involved the way he's playing. And he did play number 9 last time out. And I think that probably, sometimes you see a wide man playing number 9. It's not necessarily a good thing for them. Rashford, Sterling. But there's other examples where it is. Maybe even Gordon, yeah. And I don't know. I still haven't worked out if it's a good or bad thing for Bowen. But he played there in the league. The first time he's played there in the league for a while and got a goal. So,
what do you make of this though, Jenny? Maybe I can sell Bowen because I am debating a Son to Bowen captain transfer this week. So I think Son could do quite well against Villa, but this is Bowen's away record this season.
Oh yeah, he's only scored 1 at home, hasn't he?
Bournemouth away 9 points, Brighton away 12 points, Luton away 7 points, Liverpool away 7 points, Villa away 8 points, Brentford away 7 points, and that's it.
He is always the most advanced man, especially away from home, because they love a counter-attack, West Ham, and it plays into their hands being away, because they get less of the ball and they get to hit him on the break, which Bowen loves. Yeah,
exactly. Quite a few of these teams as well he's played will play quite a high line, play quite a high line. Look at Bournemouth, look at Brighton, look at Liverpool, look at Villa as well, and then it's Burnley, who we know are gonna play like that.
Yeah, they are possession, despite being bottom of the league. They are a possession-based team. They play football, Burnley, so they'll have more possession than West Ham for sure in that game.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. I actually think, and we talked about captaincy earlier, I think Son against Villa, but knowing it's Spurs at home and Villa are poor on the road compared to their home form, I am tempted on Son too. So I don't know about selling Son this week, mate, but I don't know.
I just think he's a worse asset without Maddison. I think that's pretty clear. I think Spurs are a worse team without Maddison, and I can just see him, like he looked it against Wolves, just getting a bit isolated, needs the ball to come to him. To be fair, against Villa, it might suit him better because they play the high line.
Very high.
I'm expecting goals in that game, but if there's no one that can thread the ball over to him, is it going to work? I don't know. He's a bit of an unknown, isn't he, Son? He's a lot of money, and I quite like the Bowen move, but it feels quite sideways because I think Son could do quite well.
Mate, he's still not had a penalty either. Spurs haven't had a pen this season.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leo is good. Did Bowen play 9 last game? He did indeed.
Yeah, I think so.
XG of 0.23, which is actually one of his worst for quite a few weeks. We had 0.7 against Brentford, 0.4 against Everton. That's Bowen. I mean, against Villa, for example, who you'd expect him to do quite well against. He got the goal, but that was with an XG of 0.1.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that was the swinger on the left. Yeah. And this goal at the weekend was from a set-piece header, so...
So, like, we always say, don't we, like, you look at teams with a high line, this is clearly the best fixture for them. But actually, you would think Bowen against Villa would have been perfect. Okay, he scored, but obviously it was against what you'd maybe expect for that to happen. BKJ says, Son seems performing the harder matchups. I feel like he can be a good asset whenever a lot looking to sell him. He does do it, doesn't he? Particularly against, like, City. We all write him off, get rid of him. A couple of goals in that.
We all captained him against Luton. Well, I captained him against Luton and Sheffield United this season. I think he blanked in both of them.
Yeah, same. Yeah, absolutely. Harry Dawson, thoughts on playing an accidental bench boost this game week? Got Turner, Archer, Lamptey and Lascelles. Well, Turner and Lamptey won't play. So Lascelles has got Chelsea.
I mean,
Archers. I mean, no.
No. And for those that aren't fully aware... Turner isn't just getting 0 points because he's conceding goals. He's getting 0 points because he's now not the number one goalkeeper at Forest and hasn't been for 2 or 3 games. So if you own Turner, when you wildcard, you'll be getting rid of him. And if you're looking for a bench boost, you're going to obviously have 2 playing keepers is the optimal there. He ain't getting back in that Forest team unless there's an injury.
And I ain't getting 18 points for bench boost again with Turner and Archer Turner, Archer, and Kabore I had on that bench.
Mate, Simicast it has to go on the wall.
He's right up there. He's the only one who. The thing is, does he deserve to?
Well, I mean, if Gomez had been fit, he probably wouldn't have started. Most predictors had Gomez to start at left back because
I don't know
playing against Mbommo too.
I'd say it is a question for you. What would you be more upset with? Right, you accidentally bench boost and get 4 or 5 points, like I should have done this week, or you don't bench boost and Simicast is left on your bench with 15.
I mean, I would. Oh, that's a really. I guess I'd still take the Simicast.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
Yeah, I was going. Usually, so many weeks, a first sub comes off your bench because you get out of nowhere an injured player. So there was just none of those weeks. It just wasn't one of those weeks for bench jam. Like I had Matoma, for example, that was benched, and I was like, oh, I wonder if Matoma. And if Brighton had gone into half time 3-0 up, maybe Matoma doesn't come on. But because it was a tight game,
he was always coming on.
I know. I looked at it and thought, where's my hope? And I got to the point in the game where I was like, can Harland please get injured in the warm-up?
I hate it when you have that. You know that you're not going to get any luck, but you're still kind of hoping. Yeah. No, it was I think I'd take the Simicast benching as well. But yeah, it was a very strange week. Jammer says, any news on Estupinan? He's injured. We don't know how long for. We need him desperately back in the team. We're dropping like a stone in the Premier League. I think we give him as much time as he needs, though. I don't think we rush him back because I think we're almost certainly going to advance in Europe, and we want him for that European run because De Zerbi is clearly taking it really seriously. So, yeah, I think we, I think even if he's available, I still think we manage his minutes and don't, push him. But my God, we are weak at left back. It's getting, it's becoming a bit of a problem. For those holding Matoma, like yourself or me with Adingra, they're playing wing back at times.
My plan is to sell Matoma this week, and the fixtures are sure they're okay, but yeah, I just think with the thin squad and the focus on Europe, might be time for him to go.
I think if you're looking at Matoma versus Palmer or Mbumo with the fixtures they've got coming up, I think it's a pretty easy move. To be fair. Fat BCN says Matoma injured. If there's any rumours of an injury, then it's going to be an even easier move. Thoughts on Sacka to Bowen, says Jagan. Prefer his 13 to 8 period. I've just bought Sacka this week.
Yeah, I mean, Saka's one I seem to always own and don't like to ever sell. And the numbers haven't been brilliant for Saka in recent weeks, have they? Like, he started the season much better, even when he was giving away penalties. I don't know. The Arsenal attack has been disappointing. There's no two ways about it. Like, at times we've had double Arsenal attack. Most teams have always had one Arsenal attack, and they're not putting up the numbers. They're underwhelming. Their XG numbers aren't fantastic. For the price you pay for players like Saka, they perhaps haven't been matching up to their value. I still think from all those Arsenal attackers, though, he's Mr. Reliable. He does pop up with those 5-6 pointers, even when he underwhelms.
Yeah, I mean, it has been disappointing, isn't it? I mean, Sheffield United, just the assist in that game. Yeah. There's worries about whether he'd start that one, wasn't there? And he did, and played 72 minutes in that, but just one assist. Then he plays Newcastle, big game for them. They barely have a sniff in that game. He blanks, and then it's Burnley at home, and you think, God, from Burnley at home and Sheffield United, the two worst defences in the league, to get 2 assists is quite disappointing. I think. But I just think the fixtures to come are Brentford, Wolves, Luton, Villa, Brighton. Villa away is tough, but they can't keep clean sheets. I just want Saka for that run. I just think he's such a good asset to own, and it's why I didn't want to compromise and go for like a Martinelli or someone else. I wanted to just take the hit. Yeah, because I took a hit to bring in Livramento last week to not play Simicast and to play Saka. So yeah, again, just really rubbing the jam. But no, I think Bowen's a good pick, but I wouldn't sell Saka for him essentially.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. I'm with you.
Yeah. A few mentions about Darwin, BKJ.
Oh yeah, I saw them.
Do we think Darwin starts against City?
Last 2 international breaks, he has had the early kickoff and not started. But I think both those international breaks, there was rumours of him managing something, but still always gets the minutes for Uruguay when he's managing these knocks. So I don't know. History tells us no, he won't start, but history also tells us that Man City Liverpool's the big game. So can Klopp afford for his number 9? And he is now the clear number 9. Not to start. I think I'm probably slightly in favour of actually this one bucks the trend and he does get the nod, but I'd be so hesitant with it. I wouldn't be selling, but I don't think I'll be buying. Like I like Darwin, but he's not a buy for me this week because he's in my head 60% likely to start.
This is the problem with Darwin. You're never going to want to sell him because you're always, even when he's not playing, you're always going to think, oh, maybe he comes off the bench, maybe he starts this one, maybe this. I don't know. He's I don't know if you saw that tweet. It was about someone said he's like Schrodinger's cat. You know, if you own him, you're kind of frustrated with him, and if you don't own him, you're terrified of him. You're kind of always sort of one way or the other. I mean, I think he's got big holes in him. I think you play him against Man City, like you say. Yeah. You don't buy him, but then I mean, it's Fulham and Sheffield United, great fixtures to own him.
But is there a midweek round in there?
Yeah.
When's the midweek? Is Fulham the midweek?
The midweek is it's Fulham on Sunday the 3rd,
and then it's Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, and then
So
he plays Wednesday, and then it's the 15th. That's the blank. The midweek.
But again, like with Liverpool and with Darwin, Klopp doesn't play him twice a week. He's not a Salah. So when they play in the Europa in Europe, often he comes out. So I'm like, I look at that midweek and go, does he start both those fixtures? Those two nice fixtures, does he start on both? I'm not 100% sure he does.
I mean, it'd be the Sheffield United game that would be the kind of obvious benching for him, wouldn't it? Because he plays Man City, gets a week rest, plays Fulham, and then bench against Sheffield United, then back
going into a busy festive period. Which, does he want to push him? I don't know. I'm wary of buying Núñez for that reason.
Yeah, I like, but again, I mean, Fulham at home and then Sheffield United. The rewards are there. The rewards are there.
And no player gets big chances like Darwin, whether he finishes them or not. And we know that's a separate question, and we know his big chances are off. But as you just mentioned a minute ago, the hauls are there, and I'm a big Darwin fan because of the chances he gets, like huge numbers. And Liverpool attack is good enough to have Salah and Darwin. Like they are putting up good enough numbers to suggest you could go double up. Unlike a team like Arsenal, where we've perhaps had double ups and disappointed.
Yep, no, good point. John B replaced Adingra with Palmer.
Oh, I don't know if you can replace Adingra after his performance on the. I know he played on the left, but whether he's on the left or right, he's Brighton's best attacker at the moment, isn't he?
Well, I mean, he is a left winger.
He?
That is his favourite position. So he's obviously not getting in the team at left wing because Matoma's going to be there. So he kind of has to be farmed out over to the right, where he's got no competition. Because Buonanotte, again, it was quite a nice assist for him, but he's not up to it. He's not Premier League standard. So we tried to farm him out on loan. We literally have one player that can play right wing, and that's Adingra. So it's nice to see him hitting a bit of form. It's a tricky one because if I was buying one, I'd buy Palmer over Adingra. But I've got Adingra, and I'm a bit biased because of Brighton. He's been playing really well, and we keep scoring goals. I just think if you're looking at routes to points, Palmer has more routes to points than Adingra does. So I think if you've got no other pressing things to do, I think it's a pretty good move going into 15. But I'm probably not going to do it because I've got other things I want to do. So I'm not like, if you look at his underlying stats, they're awful. Adingra's stats are awful. I think he had I think it was 82nd from midfielders for non-penalty XGI going into the weekend. And then the goal he scored was, a worldie. He just smashed past everyone.
I liked his performance a few days before that against Ajax. I think he may have got both assists, but he looked really good. And
assist and a goal.
He's been playing 90 every week as well. Like, I don't know how many minutes he'll get for the Ivory Coast this break, but I think
we haven't got anyone else. Like literally, he has to play.
Yeah, and I don't think he gets in the team there. Like last international break, I think he got 12 minutes. I think from memory. So I think he's exciting. But what's the deal with Enciso as? I know he's not naturally a right-sided player, but I do remember at times him playing on the right. When's he back?
I don't think he's back for a while.
I don't know.
Pretty nasty injury. I'll check the I'll check the scout team news for you, but I don't think there's any plans for him to be integrated back with the team too soon.
Oh, shame. I don't know why in my head I thought it was going to be around Christmas, but I miss Enciso. I mean, he's from all those Brighton picks, and I include Ferguson in this, and I love so many of them. I think Enciso could be the highest ceiling player they have. I think he's so good.
Yeah, just an unknown. He's had a meniscus injury.
Oh.
The recovery time for that 3 to 6 months, sometimes longer.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's unknown at the moment.
It doesn't really help. Yeah, we haven't really got any information about it. Adringa plays a lot better when Fati plays, not so much with Ferguson and Pedro. Yeah, I think Fati Fati elevates the whole team because he's better than everyone else. He's got that. He's that extra bit of star quality that. I mean, we've got great players, Matoma, Ferguson, they're all brilliant. But whenever I see Fati play, I just think, oh, you are, I can see why you've been at Barcelona for so long, and you were kind of in and around the Spanish team. He's absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, hopefully he plays more. But then it's hard to know where exactly he fits in because he can play on the left, he can play up front.
Yeah,
we've got options kind of around there.
Yeah,
I like it. I like Adingra.
De Zerbi said something like he's only playing to 60% of his ability at the moment, Fati. Think, when I say about the Brighton players' ceiling, I don't include Fati in the Enciso chat. I was just going off those that they owned for the last couple of seasons. But yeah, Fati clearly is a baller and definitely is the highest ceiling.
Yeah. If we win Europa League, I reckon he might stay.
Yeah. And as if De Zerbi stays, then you want to work with coaches like that, don't you?
Yeah.
If you're Fati.
Yep. I love his name as well. Just calling him Fati. It's great. Someone's saying Adingra to Mbumo for 14. I think we all need a Mbumo probably from 14. The fixtures are so nice.
That's my plan.
Up to the blank. How long after Brighton have a Brazilian international? He's not Brazilian. He's Spanish.
Yeah, he's Spanish. Yeah.
Don't think we. Yeah. Do we have a Brazilian player as well?
Oh, is Igor Brazilian?
He's not. He's definitely not an international. Is he?
No, he's not an international. Definitely not. But I don't know.
Menriscus, apparently not the other one.
Okay.
Never heard of it. One for you as a Chelsea fan, Reece James from Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you get from Reece. Doesn't matter how long he's out for. First game back or second game back, like he was always back in with a bang. He delivers. He's an amazing FPL asset when he is fit, and that caveat is needed every time we talk about Reece James. The good thing is Chelsea don't have midweek football, so coming back off an injury to then only have to play once a week, and caveat that with the festive periods where he will have to play a little bit more. But he's so important to Chelsea, and he is the captain. I think Poch will be smart with his minutes, and we are seeing a lot. He's getting 60, 70 minutes, then coming off. And I think we'd be really unlucky, and Reece would be really unlucky. And again, he's pulled out of the England squad yet again because he wants games. He wants Chelsea games. So I think he's an okay move in 16 if he's fit by then. But just know you might have to sell him, and you might, if you've got other fires, then maybe it's not a move for you. But if your squad's in a good place and you can afford to own a Reece, knowing you'll have to use a transfer on him to ship him out, then do it.
I think you're getting further and further away as the stream goes on. Soon you're going to be in the corner. Just, hello.
It's because of all the comments on my hair. I'm trying to get off camera.
Donald Trump still being mentioned.
Yeah.
Obviously, sorry, everyone's saying in the chat, João Pedro is our Brazilian player.
Of course.
Didn't know he was called up to the Brazil squad though.
It was his first call up. So I don't know if he's been capped yet. I guess he hasn't played yet.
No, I know he played for their under 21s, wherever it was, but I didn't know he'd been called up. Good on him. I mean, he hasn't. Yeah. He's been all right this season. He was going through a good spell and then got dropped again. Have to see whether he kind of regains his. That's
slim up top though. If Richarlison's the starting number 9 for Brazil, you know that's slim up top.
Yeah.
And then Jesus gets they're not the. They're an amazing squad of players, but number 9s,
they're not stacked, are they? Martinelli, Jesus, João Pedro, and Richarlison. I mean, that's 3 kind of second choice players for their teams, and then I suppose you
got Vinny Jr., but that's he's the star man, and Neymar's always injured. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if Pedro gets a few minutes in their squad. Apparently, Salah scored 2 goals for Egypt.
Shock.
Yeah. I like the Reece James pick. By the way, I think we've got a couple more weeks to assess. I don't think we need to move from now. I think Newcastle's tough. I wouldn't expect too much from that. Brighton, I think we probably score in that one as well. So then it's the good run from, like you said, from 14. So I think we can wait a bit. It's 15, isn't it? That's when they play Everton. So it's Newcastle, then Brighton.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Yep. Nuclear Atoms in the chat. Hi, Nuclear. We can't own Sacka, Son, Salah, Palmer, Mbumo, and Bowen. Which one would you not pick?
I mean, my midfield 5, hopefully in 2 weeks' time, is those first 5 names. My plan is to get Palmer and Mbumo, and it means no Bowen. The other name I'm going to throw in there that I am looking at possibly buying this week instead of Palmer, and it would be for 3 or 4 weeks and then go to Palmer in 15, 16, is Eze. I could go Eze and Mbumo, and then go Palmer. Palace have got 3 or 4 good games, and Palmer doesn't. But I am conscious it's one, using up a transfer, and 2, Palmer will be more expensive in 4 weeks. There's no doubt about it, but he'll still be great value. So Bowen's the one that would miss out for me out of all of those.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I mean, like I said, I think Mbumo is really important. Salah, 100%. I think Sacka with the run. So you're looking at Son versus Bowen. Again, I think if I'm talking, like I said, I'm debating selling Son for Bowen. I really don't think there's much in it between them. Spurs are the better team still, I think, on paper. They also haven't got Europe to worry about, which is, I think, having a bit of an impact again on West Ham's team. Also, they're managed by David Moyes, who isn't exactly known for his kind of expansive attacking football. So, and Son's got penalties as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's between those two.
I guess. Oh yeah. Yeah. Saka's the other one, isn't he? Someone earlier said they're looking at selling Sacka to Bowen.
Yeah, I think Sacka is a fear one, isn't he? I think we just fear that Arsenal could click and he could do well and the fixtures are good. If you're looking at the kind of stats, I think Saka's probably the one that you would bin off. Yeah. So Arsenal's attack hasn't been great, and neither are his. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question from Gianni. Thank you so much for all of your support. Watkins captain plays on Sunday. No early kickoff.
He's away from home though, isn't he? It's at Spurs, that game.
Yeah.
I would contemplate a Watkins captain for the right fixture at home. As I tried went there this week, and you've tried it. But backing Watkins, who's already a player we've got a few trust issues with, away from home when Villa are so much better at home, I don't think you go there. I get it. Spurs have got injuries. And you're like, oh, he could have fun there. But I think there's better options. There's a few better options. I'd rather go Son in the same fixture.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Because I think that, like with Diaby, he's going to run them ragged, I think, in that
match. I'm a Diaby owner. I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah,
in this fixture.
I think people are kind of worried about him. I think this is a great fixture for him. And who's there to kind of do the tap-ins and shoot them over the bar or miss headers from point blank range? Just Ollie Watkins. I don't hate it. I think I captained Watkins against Spurs last year when they had what was his name, Stellini in charge, because they were awful, and he got nothing in that game. So I've been burnt by Watkins actually quite a few times. I benched him against Newcastle when he scored like 2 goals and got an assist. I can't quite get it right with him, so probably listen to Gianni. Don't do it, because
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because Harland and Salah play each other, I get it. We're all looking outside the box, but I think many will go to Son if they want to go away from that fixture.
Yeah. Watkins to Harland for a -4, says JR. Got exact money for it.
I'm not a fan of the no Harland drafts. I do think you need him. But if you've committed to go no Harland, you've probably committed it with a wider group of games in mind. So should you stick with a plan, or do you jump ship because he got a hat-trick against Chelsea? I don't know. I'd never be in that boat. I see Harland as the guy you just have to own. But I fair play to those that went without, and they were rewarded early on, actually. So what would you do? Just get him in, right?
I don't know. That's really tough. I think it's close. I think Watkins versus Harland this week, if I was going to pick one, I'd probably lean towards Harland, but it's not crazily obvious. And then you've got to factor in the hit, but then you've got to factor in the fact that there's exact money, so you're not going to be able to do it kind of going forward. I don't know. I'd probably do it. I think I'd probably do it given that it's exact money. If you had a bit of a buffer, it would be all right. But I think you need Harland, and you look at some people without Harland in their team, they're going to have to make like 3 or 4 moves to like be able to bring him back in or sell Salah. Whereas if you can do it for a -4 and not have to make loads of other sacrifices. Probably just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
but it doesn't feel great though, because I think, like you said, I think if you've committed to the strategy, you kind of have to just accept Harland is going to get points, but the rest of your team has to make up the elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yep. Jamie Hayes, I'm waiting until the 19th to bring him back. Yeah, exactly. So, wow, you're going to go without Luton with him.
Yeah, it's just that blank in 18 is some will hold out till the Luton fixture and some will hold out till 19.
Yeah. He got brace against Chelsea, Tazimu. Thank you. Brace and assist, not hat-trick. Vignesh, double up on Arsenal defence. Cash out for Saliba.
I don't think so.
It's not easy this week, is it? The Q&A is hard.
I don't think so. I don't think I saw quite a few did it, and there were Simicast sellers that went to Saliba. And like, oh great, he gets a gut. Like centre back getting goals. Like you can't predict that. You can predict the clean sheets, and some defenders you can predict the assist threat, like a Trippier or a Trent over the years, Reece. But the upside, Saliba looks good because he just got a goal, but he also didn't keep a clean sheet last time out. I think Gabriel or one Arsenal defender is sufficient because there's still very good defensive options in the game that are cheap. And I include Simicast in that.
What I like about the move to Saliba from cash, though, is if you've got Gabriel, you can downgrade him a bit later on. And then I don't like owning Gabriel. I don't like every week I'm like panicking whether he's going to be in the team or not. It stresses me out. It's just that I do not need 2.4 million.
He's meant to be the bigger goal threat than Saliba as well.
He's absolutely not. He's just not, is he? He's just
hasn't been this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's tough. I think Zinchenko looks quite fun as well. I think Ben White looked great. It's so unlucky if you went for him and then he missed out.
I'd rather spend the money on Ben White than Saliba, but obviously that is even more money. So I'm happy with Gabriel.
Yeah,
but I get it. He will miss a couple. Well, might do. It was out of nowhere, wasn't it, at the start of this season? And now we all have trust issues.
I think if you're not happy with Gabriel, the cash to Saliba move makes sense. If you're happy with Gabriel, then don't bother. And if you haven't got Gabriel, I'd do it to get an Arsenal defender in because they do look good defensively. I think that's where I'd be. So yeah, FPL Rap's been ghosting social media after Harland wrecked his team.
I didn't notice that, but yeah, I'm guessing he had a bit of a red arrow off the back of no Harland.
Yeah, and it's horrible when he plays last as well. And you've had probably quite a good week, and then you have to watch him get 16 points or whatever it was. Chai says, lads, how do I get on the podcast? You mean listen to the podcast? Because then Spotify, iTunes, Apple. If you're looking to actually come on to the podcast, well, you're on, essentially. We just talked about you. But yeah, send a message to David, I guess. David Monday does our video content. So yeah, that's probably the easiest way. David at FFScout.co.uk, probably something like that. Anyway, right, I think we'll call it there. Gianni, 45 minutes. Going to let you've got to get ready to leave, haven't you?
Shall I do a show you my view post?
Absolutely.
Look at this. I don't think I've ever stayed in a hotel with quite this view. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but that's the window behind me. That is the Miami Heat Stadium.
That is way cooler than I thought it was going to be.
How cool is that?
And
you can see like the beach and stuff. It's really cool. Yeah, it's
all
cool. Controlled, mate. All the curtains and stuff on an iPad. Imagine how long it took me to work that one out.
Just like bright like sunlight all day, all like moonlight. Gav's like, please, Jay, work out the coach. You're like, nope.
It's been lovely to chat. I've missed our chats on various platforms.
Too.
So we'll have to try and do some towards the end of the season. But if you've liked this stream, guys, all make sure you hit the like button. I'd love to get to 100 by the time we say goodbye.
Me too, absolutely. Yeah, do like the stream. Do check us out on podcasts already. Give us a comment as well. I think Sam and I will probably be back next week ahead of Gameweek 13. But yeah, I'll let you go, Gianni. Have a safe flight, and yeah, we'll speak again soon.
Cheers, guys. See you later.